Hello, true duelists. It's me, a sentient frog, the host you're used to and fully expected to see when clicking on this video. Welcome to the New Card Report. When I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! As a young tadpole, I went out and bought a box of Stardust Overdrive, since at the time it was the newest box, and I had the great joy of pulling Clear World from it. I thought it was so cool, and that Clear Vice Dragon was even cooler. Unfortunately for me, the cards sucked, and I quickly moved on to bigger and worse things, like a 55-card pile of dragon monsters that was the single worst thing this game has ever seen. But now, in the year of our Lord, current year, 2024, Clear World is being given more support from Animation Chronicle 2024. Will this make the worst floodgate type of card in the game more playable? You won't believe it, but not really. So get ready for like 10 to 15 minutes of me just shitting on cardboard. Figuratively. I'm a toad. Clear Phantom is a level 3 Dark Fiend with 1200 attack, 800 defense, and a ticket to the underworld because its best function is probably just being a tour guide target. This card can be discarded with one other card in your hand to eat the fattest Ash Blossom of your life, or if it somehow manages to resolve, add 2 cards from your deck to your hand that are either Clear World or a spell or trap card that mentions it. Depends on your luck, I guess. While it's on the field, you will be unaffected by the effects of Clear World, and if it's destroyed, it can target one monster the opponent controls, destroy that monster, and then mill 3 cards from the top of the opponent's deck. Maybe it's not a tour guide target exactly, because, why would you summon this? Yeah, I don't know. It's another way to get the deck's namesake, and it being on the field can kinda keep you safe from the worst floodgate in the world. The Undestruction effect might be solid if there are other ways to pop your own cards outside of the jankiest Metal Foe engine imaginable, but otherwise, it's the second largest thing in the universe in terms of being an Ash Blossom piece of bait, because the only other thing larger than the size of this bait for Ash Blossom is, of course, Ash Blossom's forehead. Yeah, look at that verbose-ass Ash Blossom forehead joke. Hey man, at least it wasn't a feet one. Let's just move on. Clear Rage Golem, meanwhile, is a level 4 Dark Rock with 1600 attack and 1800 defense. Non-normal or special summon can activate the effect to allow all your monsters that mention Clear World to attack directly. It also makes it so you're unaffected by Clear World, and when it inflicts battle damage to the opponent, it can deal 300 additional damage to them for each card in their hand. My god, this just feels like a GX card, dude. The only notable thing this does is act as a potential OTK enabler for the deck by allowing other better and stronger monsters to attack directly. The burn is, I guess, cute, but useless outside of the turn it's summoned, since it is not surviving the next turn if you leave it up. It's going to die. So we're not looking at a tremendously great start here. Let's see if a level 1 Dark Machine monster can maybe save this deck. Clear Cube is a dumbass name for this dumbass cube, and it is a level 1 Dark Machine with 0 attack and 0 defense. This also makes you immune to Clear World, and during your main phase, this will let you normal summon one monster that mentions Clear World in addition to your normal summoner set. If the opponent makes this card leave the field under your control, you can also special summon any monster from your deck that mentions Clear World. So that's groovy. I don't know if double summon for the worst rock-type monster of 2024 is going to cut it, though. The float is cool, but requires the opponent to trigger it for you, which is kind of terrible, if we're being honest. And it's not like the Fiend is getting popped by this either. Really being loyal to that GX era card design here, dude. What is going on? They did also get Clear Vicious Knight, a level 7 Dark Warrior with 2300 attack and 1100 defense. This one can be tribute summoned by tributing one monster that mentions Clear World, so the cube is now more useful in that sense. Plus, this will gain attack equal to the highest original attack of the monsters your opponent controls. As with all Clear World monsters, you're immune to Clear World while you have this, and your opponent won't be able to activate the effects of special summon monsters with a lower attack than this tribute summoned cards. So the entire deck relies on this very imperm vulnerable monster. It does offer another lovely floodgate for the deck, being monster negates and being a pseudo skill drain on legs for most things. The attack gain is constant from my understanding, and that is to say, if your opponent has a monster with 1000 attack, this will gain 1000 attack. But if they summon a monster with 2000 attack, then this will instead be gaining 2000 attack from its base original attack. It'll just fluctuate depending on what your opponent has. So, it's safe to say that it's a skill drain for special summon monsters. Plus, if you 1-for-1 the cube, and then use this at the bonus normal, then you could also summon the rock and go for an OTK. They just need to have a monster with an original attack of 3000. You swing directly for 53, poke with the rock for 16, and then if they have 4 cards in their hand, you burn them for game. You just need to hard open 1 for 1 and be on turn 2 and face 0 interruptions and let them get a 3k beater that probably has interruption of some kind and also have 4 cards. It's totally reasonable. It's definitely hell yeah, dude. It's so good. It's just like the best they got, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Not only is it boring, but it's not even that much. Its skill drain is at 3. If you want to play stun, just play stun. And last up is the single new spell card reveal that you can search with your not tour guide target. Clear Wall is a continuous spell that once per turn while face up can add a monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Clear World, provided you have a Clear World on the field. It also makes it so your monsters that mention Clear World cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no damage from them. So you force them to destroy the Fiend and definitely not just make SP or Unicorn and get rid of it in another way. Praise be. Lastly, if you do control a level 7 or higher monster that mentions Clear World, this will make it so your opponent has to play under all of the effects of Clear World, regardless of what attributes they control. So the last effect is kind of funny, because it means you can have the Knight or the original Vice Dragon up, and your opponent has to play with their hand revealed. They won't be able to attack if they have 2 or more monsters. They'll be paying 500 life points to use spell cards, and in their end phase, they'll take 1,000 damage and have to discard a card. Also, in their standby phase, they'd have to destroy a defense position monster, but that's pretending that they're going to have a defense position monster, so we can pretty well ignore that. Perfect hand knowledge and not being able to attack, as well as being forced to pay to activate spell cards, isn't too bad. It won't stop them from using monster effects, though, unless you've got Knight up specifically, nor will it stop this from getting Nightmare Phoenixed or Cosmic Cycloned, but full hand knowledge is a great thing to have, which is kind of why hand rip cards are banned, so it's something. The problem is, of course, that you need Knight, which isn't insanely difficult, but also isn't insanely easy to get out, and again, Imperm and Nightmare Phoenix, I don't know if my deck losing to that is what I want. Also, the dragon is just honest for everything that it attacks, but does fuck all to prevent your opponent from just attacking it. Hence why this continuous spell makes your monsters indestructible by battle. Because in 2009, they decided to give a level 8 monster with no special summoning effect any protection from battle. It can't be destroyed by card effect, but has nothing to save it because it has 0 attack if it's being attacked. It only gains the attack when it's amazing. The Konami classic of a continuous spell being put into a deck to make it playable because otherwise it isn't. Like Malefic before it and Clear World now. Looking at all of this, it's pretty mid. And that might be being generous. Clear World is a floodgate type of card that relies on the opponent's attributes to be doing anything. Meaning if your opponent is playing an Earth deck, you're essentially just giving them a card to even? I don't even know. Because even if they have a bunch of monsters in defense, they can just switch them to attack and this card does nothing. The light and dark ones are the only really notable ones, and the wind effect is cute for winning in time maybe, against like Sky Striker if they just choose not to search jamming waves or afterburners, I guess. Realistically, you need Clear Wall to be doing anything with this deck, and the Knight up that's being tribute summoned. Otherwise, this whole strategy is crumbling. Clear World was simply never enough, and sadly, it seems they're continuing that trend by giving the support that is not enough. I still love the aesthetic. I love this goofy, Princess Zelda from Ocarina of Time stuff going on, but this very much feels like anime support from GX. Because it is. And it's bad. And it sucks. So, that's it. Shoutouts as always go to the LIFD Magnetic Display. As always, 15% off by using promo code YGOSTRATS15, whether you type it in at the checkout or you click that link in the description. My sentient toad posterior will be back again, maybe, I don't know, on Friday for the update, because we're doing things here. The channel is stumbling along. And if you want to watch that stumbling, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. Not only will you be impressing your smoking Italian wife when you do, but you'll even be a true duelist. And really, what more could you want than that?